You know what time it is. Champions League quarterfinals. It's time for the predictions. And now my team's out of it. Chelsea, we got absolutely spanked. So I have no more stakes in this. I just get to watch the beautiful game without any agenda, nothing. I'm just watching. And hopefully I get to watch some good games this week. But we're going to get into it. Like, subscribe, all the good algorithm stuff would be much appreciated. I really appreciate all the support on the channel in the recent weeks. And now it's Champions League time, baby. International break was over. Quarterfinals. Just a reminder, if you haven't watched my video about the round of 16, my predictions, I didn't get them all right, no one really usually does, but I didn't predict the entire tournament because I knew I was going to get everything right. But just to remind you guys, if you don't know, I predicted Chelsea to win. I know, I look crazy. GG's. I predicted Liverpool to go through. Got that one right. I predicted City to go through. I mean, spooky season. That was completely wrong. And I predicted Bayern, obviously. Cooked. I predicted Arsenal to go through. Okay. Not as simple as I thought it would be, but they got it done. I predicted Bodo Glimt to go through. Now, Bodo Glimt, hey man, would have been a fun story to see them go far, but Sporting with a massive comeback against them. I predicted Atleti. In the end, it looks closer, but they were spanking Spurs. And of course, I predicted Barcelona to go through. Dominant fashion. That last round, I ain't gonna lie, last round was one of the most entertaining rounds of Champions League I've seen in a minute. Just like look at the amount of goals across these games. I know a lot of them aren't necessarily close, but just goals on goals on goals the last round. Like, defense seems to have gone out the window in recent times. But now we're gonna get onto the quarterfinal predictions. And if you haven't watched that video, I already predicted my winner pick and my dark horse. I'll reveal those as I go through my predictions. But PSG versus Liverpool. Now, PSG, to be honest, I predicted Chelsea to win that tie. And as silly as that looks now, my reasoning at the time was that this year, unlike last year, PSG are actually in a title race in their league. If you check out Ligue 1, they're only 4 points clear. I mean, now they have a game in hand, so they're probably going to go on to win this league decently, comfortably. But still, it's a title race, which you can't say every year for Ligue 1. But Liverpool, on the other hand, one, they look shambolic right now. They just got absolutely spanked by City in the FA Cup. So Liverpool are in the best state right now. But also, not only they got spanked by City, lost to Brighton recently, and they're in a top 4, top 5 race with us. Of course, Chelsea, Villa, United seem like they're going to get it now, but Brentford aren't far off. I mean, Liverpool is spooky season, and I'm not mad at it because we're going to need them to be in bad form for us to have a chance in the Premier League. Chelsea, but forgetting about Chelsea for a second, now I was saying PSG in a title race. It's not like last year where the league was won comfortably and they could just rest for the Champions League and they were spanking teams or at least having freshness over teams. I said that's the case for a different team this year, my actual winner pick. But for PSG, I thought it would be a little bit closer and tougher for them to just go through comfortably each round. That being said, all that warming up I thought they had to do, they got all of that out of the way against Chelsea. They looked tip top when it came down to it. The first leg, we gave them a little bit of a run for it, but then obviously, if you know what happened. Let's not speak of it. And then second leg, it just wasn't even. It was embarrassing. So now that they're warmed up, and then Liverpool are looking like they're looking right now. Arne Slot, I don't know what's going on. I can't see him having some long future at the club. I gotta go PSG. And honestly, it could get ugly as well. Unless Slot comes out with some crazy tactic to survive this, it honestly could get ugly, similar to Chelsea. Liverpool, I mean, obviously they still have better center backs than us, but damn, PSG looked ridiculous against us. So I'm going PSG to go through to the semifinal, which would make for a fun semifinal no matter who they face. But to speak of who they might face, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. And this one, I'm going to spoil it now. my winner pick when I made my last video was in fact Bayern Munich, not Arsenal. I assume not Arsenal, but for the reasons I stated, why I wasn't so sure about PSG is why I was so sure about Bayern, because they have their league wrapped up. Let's go check out the Bundesliga table. They are 9 points clear in their league right now. Comfortable. Maybe in some crazy world, Dortmund closes that gap, but I don't see it coming. I mean, Bayern have scored 100 goals in the Bundesliga, and they still have many games left to play. And Dortmund have only scored 60. Like, do you understand what we're talking about right here? that's absolutely insane. So I think they got that league wrapped up. They can really focus on the Champions League. Madrid, on the other hand, are in a title race in La Liga. I mean, you could argue after this weekend, it's over. They just lost, and Barca got a massive win against Atleti, and now they're 7 points off the top. I know a lot of people were saying it, that basically that's the league done. And it might be, honestly might be. But maybe that's good for Madrid. They can focus on the Champions League, but they're not going to want to give up that league title race. So it's not that simple. Madrid, they also just don't move me right now. The thing is, when Mbappe was out and Vinny was running the show, maybe you could argue they have a chance. And maybe even if Vinny was out and it was Mbappe running the show, you could argue they have a chance. But those two together, I just don't see the fit. And still to this day, I think one of them has to go. I honestly still believe that about Real Madrid. One of Vinny or Mbappe. See you later. Hit the ESAC on them. They got to go. But even beyond that, even if both of them are playing and I don't love that, the great equalizer that could allow me to believe Real Madrid could somehow get through this tie is one man only, Thibaut Courtois. And the fact of the matter is, Courtois is out. And for me, that's wraps. If Courtois was there, we have an argument to make that Courtois can just keep them in it against waves and waves of Bayern attacks. But Madrid's defense doesn't move me. It's a little spooky to me. But Courtois was the great equalizer. And without him, I just don't see it happening. I see Bayern going on. And honestly, it might be comfortable. I mean, first game is at the Bernabeu. So maybe they get a draw. Maybe, but I don't see Bayern not spanking them at home. I mean, honestly. So I'm going Bayern. Bayern versus PSG in the first semifinal. Let me know what you think, because I'm sure some of you might think differently, but that's my first semifinal. Now over to the other side. Let's go down to Arsenal first, because this one is a little more straightforward, at least in my head. Even though I didn't think Sporting would beat Bodo, they did. So shout out to them. And Arsenal is a little more tricky against Leverkusen than I probably thought it was going to be. But that being said, Arsenal, let's talk about them, because we got to talk about it. Arsenal went from quadruple talks to double talks within two games, basically. Losing in the Carabao Cup final to City and losing in the FA Cup to Southampton. That's rough. But that being said, Arsenal are going to have a chip on their shoulder. At the end of the day, as much as I think, okay, you're going to want to win every opportunity you have to win, and especially the FA Cup, I think still that's a big cup. For them, it was always Premier League first, and they probably were favorites for the Champions League. So people are going to think, okay, we're going to focus on those two. If you lose to Sporting, it gets real spooky, because City are in form now. But let's not talk about the Premier League. Let's just talk about the Champions League. Even with everything being said, here's the main reason, honestly, the main reason I'm picking Arsenal to win this tie. And first, let's look at the squad, because I believe Timber's out till mid-April. And Kape is out till mid-April. Marino, that is what it is. Is Gabriel fit? Okay, I guess Gabriel's fit. I know Gabriel got injured recently. I guess he's going to be fit for this game. That's big. That's massive. If Gabriel plays, Honestly, that's massive. This is the predicted lineups. Okay, that's fair enough. Ben White, spooky over the weekend. Saka though, where's Saka? Saka injured. Saka out till mid-April, and Capias. That's two arguably the starting defenders out, and obviously their star boy, whatever, grown man, is also out. That's spooky. That being said, like I said, the main reason I'm picking Arsenal to win this tie is one man and one man only, Victor Gyökeres. This guy was signed by Arsenal. They put their hopes on him as a striker. And if you want to hear my thoughts on strikers and generally the state of strikers in 2026, go watch one of my recent videos about the debate about modern strikers. But Victor Gyökeres absolutely tore up the Portuguese league when he was there, when he played for Sporting, ironically. That was where he made his name, where he scored 100 goals in 2 years, and he was just farming that league. Literally, when they call something a farmers league, I don't want to call the Portuguese league a farmers league. I mean, they have respectable teams there, or at least the big three. But when you want to say farming, Victor Gyökeres was farming the bottom teams in that league. From what I heard, and I don't watch that league, so I can't speak to it with authority. But from what I heard, he actually didn't perform that well against the better teams in the Portuguese league. Really, he was just farming like bottom half of the table. But even so, surely Arteta will recognize this guy can farm a Portuguese team and get it done. Maybe this is just me thinking football is simpler than it is, but if there was any moment in this season where Victor Gyökeres to prove himself and to justify the fee that he came for and the reason why he came to Arsenal, it's this tie against his old team, a Portuguese team, in Sporting. For me, if Gyökeres drops a stinker across these two legs, honestly, it's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing. That's just for me. So I'm picking Arsenal, honestly, off the back of Victor Gyökeres. I think this could be a special moment for him. And I'm not a big fan. I mean, he's my guy in FIFA for a few years, but I'm honestly not the biggest fan of how he's played this season. And it seems like his level isn't as high as we hoped it might be. But I think you have the opportunity, Gyökeres, to really do something special. So we'll see how that one goes. But finally, this one's interesting. Barcelona. I don't speak Spanish, guys. As you could probably tell, that was terrible. And Atletico Madrid. This is fascinating. These guys have played, I think, a bunch of times already this season. I think by the end of the season, they will have played each other 6 times across one season. That's very important because now we're talking about momentum going either way. I mean, if you just want to check their recent, this weekend they played Barca won 2-1. Maybe that's an indicator. But then you also check that game. Atleti didn't play their strongest lineup. They were preparing because they're out of the league. They're preparing for the Champions League. Barca played a decent amount of their starters. But on top of that, Barca have injuries. I'm going to look at it. Frankie going to be out till mid-April. He might miss both legs. Maybe he can come back for the second leg. Rafinha, early May, he's missing both legs. Those are two starters for them. This is the predicted lineup. I know people aren't happy with Ferran these days. Gavi, if he does play, I mean, we don't know. But Gavi, he's only now coming back trying to get fit. Cancelo's been big for them, though, since he's joined. Lewa, hopefully he up top, For me, I like him. Obviously, Pedri, best midfielder in the world. Lamine, best player in the world. But with their strong lineup, Atleti have been scoring goals since Lookman have come in. They've just figured something out that they didn't before, and they've been scoring goals on goals. And I honestly don't think it's as straightforward as it might seem. Obviously, Barca won over the weekend, but in the Copa del Rey, Atleti smacked Barca with 4, I think, and then Barca smacked Atleti with 3. I mean, this tie is ridiculous. It's back and forth. And I think even the first half of the season, if I'm not mistaken, Atleti smacked Barca with a bunch of goals, like in the first half of the season in the league. You can see here, Atleti beat them with 4, and then Barca beat them with 3. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I want to check the first half of the season. No, I'm wrong. Barca beat Atleti 3-1. It was Atleti who smacked Real Madrid with a bunch of goals in the first half of the season. That's what I'm thinking of. But Barca beat them 3-1. Then they beat Barca 4-0. Then Barca beat them 3-0. Then Barca just beat them 2-1. And now they're going to play again. Like, this is a ridiculous uh, back and forth this season. And honestly, this is the hardest to call for me by far. By far. You probably would think it's Madrid and Bayern or PSG and Liverpool. This one is the hardest. The thing that's really making me hesitate is, for me, Atleti is the dark horse of the entire tournament. I said that in my last video, and you saw it against Spurs. They can score goals on goals. And maybe that makes me think they could beat Barca. But I'm more seeing it from the fact that I think whoever wins out of Barca and Atleti, I think either could honestly take Arsenal, which makes them the dark horse because Arsenal are the favorite on that side. But if I had to choose, based on the form that they are in, the confidence they have from being 7 points clear at the top of their league, having the best player in the world and the best midfielder in the world, I'm going to have to go Barca over 2 legs. Do I think who's at home first? Honestly, that's big. Barca's at home first too. If Barca get out to a big lead and at home, can they hold on to it in a second leg? Honestly, I would prefer Barca playing at home second if I'm them, because with Hansi Flick's high line, I'm not confident in them holding on to a lead away from home at the Metropolitano. It's getting spooky. I honestly think this could go either way. They might both beat each other. Just who's going to win by the bigger margin. And right now, I'm sorry. If you didn't see Lamine Yamal, that guy, I think it was Gonzalez or something, he met someone over the weekend and then played that Trivela with no windup against Atleti. I'm sorry. The form that he's in right now, I think he could just carry Barca, even if it's narrowly, to a win over 2 legs. The form he's in, I can't bet against Lamine. Even though Atleti are my dark horse to win the whole thing, I personally can't bet against the best player in the world at the moment. So in the end, I'm going for Barcelona to win that one. So my second semifinal is going to be Barcelona versus Arsenal. And on the other side, PSG versus Bayern Munich. That's going to be it. Those are my predictions. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I right? Are you predicting similarly? You predicting differently? These are tough to call. I mean, I think Arsenal is straightforward enough. The form they're in, maybe not, but straightforward enough. PSG, straightforward enough in theory. But Madrid, Bayern, to me, honestly, that's straightforward. But the Madrid heritage and all that, we don't know. But Barca, Atleti, I really want to hear what you think about that one, because they've had a saga this season. And I honestly can see that one going either way. I know Atleti only beat them once, but they beat them comfortably that one time. Honestly, the main thing I want to check was Pedri playing in that game. That's honestly the difference maker for me, because when Pedri play versus when they don't play, when he doesn't play, it's just two completely different teams. And nope, Pedri was not playing. Yeah, Pedri is on the bench. I don't see Pedri anywhere. Am I tweaking? Yeah, I don't see Pedri anywhere. Never mind. Pedri didn't play that game. Honestly, that's a difference maker. That's enough to tell me a fit Pedri, Barcelona look like a completely different team. I'm going Barcelona for sure on that one. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. It'd be much appreciated if you get involved in the conversation. And much appreciated for you watching today's video. Like, subscribe, all the good algorithm stuff. I would thank you a lot if you did that. And I will see you guys very soon for another video. Champions League, let's go. Peace.